mira, bobo. Anda para allá, bobo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the SoFlo Soccer channel. My name is Matt, and today we are going to talk about Inter Miami versus Pumas, the last game of the League's Cup group stage, I guess you can call it. We won our first game. We tied our second game. We got the 2 points, though, after winning on penalty kick against Necaxa. A lot of controversy. Some of it we'll go over it again. I won't spend too much time on it since we already went over it in the post-game reaction. And now we're facing against Pumas, which could be a win or go home scenario. So, honestly, we need to discuss this. I want to talk about some things that have been happening on social media because we just finished the live. If you guys were there with the Messi and Co show with Ashley and Gian, we talked about the game. We talked about the referee situation. We talked about Messi injuries. So it was a pretty long show, but if you guys want to check it out, you guys can. I'll talk a little bit about it here, but we got a bunch of people in the chat already. We got Gustavo. We got Mike V. Ash is already in here. Monkey Man. Dan. Mitch. Dr. T. Ash says Suarez super hat trick tomorrow. Matt is later than Suarez to a cross. Bro, yeah, because we were so, what's it called? We were doing the show on Messi and Co. And that went longer than I expected. So I had to push this thing back a couple of times. So I apologize for that, but I appreciate you guys for being here. Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe and like this video for some more content similar to this. We do live streams like this all the time about Inter Miami, Messi, Argentina, all things soccer. Mitch says it's a must-win game, fellas. Was good, man. Was good, Monkey Man. Do you have any transfer gossip who Inter Miami could be purchasing soon? So far, no. We do have this, like, don't know if we're going to be bringing anybody in. The last thing we heard about rumors was Pelistri and, who was the other guy? Pelistri and Mark Bartra. But we haven't really heard anything since those rumors have been released. So once more information comes out, we'll talk about it. We'll have a live stream about it. I'll probably make a YouTube video out of it as well. But, yeah, let's get into the game, guys. Or let's get into the situation for tomorrow. This is a must-win game. Let's just start off right there. This is a must-win game. This is against Pumas, a very supposed mid-team. And I put it in quotes because I don't watch the Mexican League. I have no idea what they're about. I have no idea what kind of play style they play. I'm not going to pretend and sit here like I do know. But what I do know, and what I could sit here and tell you guys what I do know, is that we are the better team. Inter Miami are simply the better team. We have the better players. We have more of an advantage because we are playing at home. And I personally believe that we should be winning this game tomorrow. We need to be winning this game tomorrow. And anything less is probably us getting eliminated from the competition, which would be an absolute failure. Because that's us getting kicked out in our third competition this season. CONCACAF Champions Cup, Club World Cup, and now Leagues Cup. And that is just leading towards failure, and that's something that we don't want to do. Monkey Man says 4K. Yeah, we are hitting. We're about to hit 4K subscribers, which is actually pretty insane. I think we're about like 200 subs away, which is insane, genuinely insane, and what we built in a year. So I appreciate you guys hitting the sub button. I appreciate to all the new viewers for subscribing. Thank you to all the OGs who've been here since day one. You guys are amazing and showing a lot of support on this channel, so I appreciate you guys. Tony asked, what's the lineup for tomorrow? Who's going to be the 10? Let's talk about that real quick. My dog is, like, crying. Hold on. Go, Rocky. Go. I think he heard, like, my parents, like, knocking on the door or something, like, downstairs. Okay. What is the 9? Who's going to play the 10 tomorrow? Mike says we need a 9. Monkey Man says, now we're winning this whole thing. Listen, this is how it's going to go tomorrow. And if it goes any other way, I'm going to genuinely be surprised, right? And I want to hear what you guys think. I will genuinely be surprised if it goes any other way tomorrow. But tomorrow, it's going to be De Paul playing as a 10. Like, De Paul is going to be fulfilling Messi's role. And if he's not, that's shocking, to be honest. If you guys remember how the last game was against Necaxa, I think it was in the second half, I want to say, or maybe it happened when Messi came off and we went down a man and things like that. But I think it was more in the second half. Honestly, I don't remember. We did see De Paul, however, play in a more advanced role, play essentially right next to Suarez, even ahead of Suarez at times. Suarez would drop deep. Excuse me. Suarez would drop deep. Rodrigo De Paul would push up. He would get into positions to create. And I think that that's going to happen tomorrow. And that's what should happen tomorrow. I think Rodrigo De Paul is probably the best player that we have that can be put into that situation. We've seen Velasco Segovia play in a similar role before. But not that and he doesn't really do a bad job, but obviously, and you could call me biased, I think Rodrigo De Paul could be essential in that spot, not just for creating, but potentially scoring as well. I think them feeding. The plan, the goal should be, in theory, feeding the ball to Velasco, feeding the ball to Tadeo Allende. But Tadeo Allende has been a little bit of a really bad stint recently, really, really bad form. He just hasn't had that confidence to finish. He's being put in situations to succeed. He's getting into those areas where he can score, he can be clinical. He gets into those one-on-ones, but he fumbles it right at the end. So that's something that needs to change. But that, in theory, that is what's supposed to happen. Rodrigo De Paul feeding players like Jordi Alba, feeding players like Velasco Segovia, like Tadeo Allende, even Lionel Messi when he's on the field. But we're not going to have Lionel Messi, and so that's why we think De Paul is going to fulfill it. With that also being said, well, let's see what you guys have to say about that first, and then I'll kind of move on. Gustavo says, thank you, Matt. You're doing a fantastic job. I appreciate your support, Gustavo. Mitch says, I really think Allende gets a break. Let him come on as a super sub for a tired Suarez and play up top. Or switch to Suarez and Allende together up top if we are chasing a goal. That is not going to happen. I'm going to tell you why that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because, well, first of all, Suarez is not coming off. I can tell you that right now, Mitch. Maybe we've seen Suarez Allende play striker before. We've seen it play before in the past. I don't remember there being an issue with that. And I've said it in the past before that we needed to play Tadeo Allende up top alongside Suarez, play either Messi or Fafa, depending on who's available, on the wing to get down that width, to play a little wider, put crosses in, low crosses, back passes, etc., etc. But that's just not how Mascherano is going to roll. Mascherano is going to keep playing. This is my opinion. Okay, this is my opinion from having Mascherano as a coach, from seeing how he plays, to seeing and picking up on the consistencies with the personnel. That he's going to be consistently be playing Allende on the right, and I don't think he's going to be getting a break tomorrow. I genuinely believe that Allende deserves to be hitting the bench tomorrow, not because he's a bad player, but I think he's been giving too many chances and not giving us enough results. I may be thinking this in a little too straightforward, very basic way, because obviously Mascherano sees something in Tadeo Allende that maybe we don't, or maybe that we're overlooking, or maybe taking too far. But what I'm seeing is a player who lost the confidence, lost the technical ability that he once had, and is put into the positions to succeed, like I said, to succeed, to score, but doesn't do so. He'll put shots wide. He'll put shots directly to the keeper. He'll miss completely. And it looks bad. It just looks really, really, really bad. It looks bad on his confidence. Maybe benching him will ruin his confidence even more. But if I was a player, I would see it as an eye-opener. I would see it as an eye-opener. If I was Tadeo Allende and Mascherano benches me, I'm like, damn. He's benching me because I'm not being more clinical in front of the net. Yes, I'm getting into the positions, but we're not doing anything about it. You can get into positions all you want. You can stand there all game for all I care. But then if you don't end up scoring, what's the point? What is the point? So I'm hoping that Tadeo Allende can fix it tomorrow. I'm hoping that Tadeo Allende can fix his form soon, because we're gonna need it. Because he can't be playing like this going into the back end of the season. We're gonna be approaching Leagues Cup is about to be over. We're like halfway through, almost through Leagues Cup, and that's if we, knock on wood, don't get eliminated tomorrow. And then we're gonna be going back to MLS regular season action. We're still gonna have to play for a top seed spot. And then we have postseason, and we cannot have an out of form Tadeo Ashende going into the postseason of the MLS Cup. So we're hoping that he could fix it pretty soon. Let's see. Mike V is already giving us a predicted lineup, which we're gonna get to in a second. I'll get to Mike V's comment about the lineup in a second, because we normally do those towards the end. So maybe in about 20 or so minutes. Let's see. He'll put RDP in Messi's spot, says Nick Smith, and then have Benja to start. Okay. Do you guys think that Benja will start? I don't think Benja starts. Not at all. Falcon had a red card. Can he play? He asked Gustavo. So yeah. Oh, I didn't mention that. So, for those of you, I think most of you do know, but obviously Maxi Falcon got a red card in the last game for a very questionable, terrible call from the Mexican official, from a Mexican crew in a continental competition with the Mexican team. Maxi Falcon got sent off. We went down a man. We were down a man for the majority of the game. Didn't go to VAR, by the way. But CONCACAF retracted the red card. So if you guys missed my post, I posted an update on the YouTube community tab about the red card. I said, and I quote, well, actually I could probably pull this up for you guys really quickly so you guys can see where I post updates for Inter Miami, for for literally anything. I use Twitter on occasion, but I'm mainly active on the YouTube tab, on the YouTube community tab, because it's where our platform is YouTube. I normally put most of my content on YouTube. But if you guys look at my screen right about that's not it. That is it. And transition. Boom. If you look at it here, this is the Maxi Falcon update. So this was announced by Inter Miami, by the communications department. It says here, Maxi Falcon's red card has been rescinded. He's clear to play tomorrow's Leagues Cup match. Inter Miami submitted a claim before the Leagues Cup. 2025 disciplinary committee has committee to rescind the red card issued to player Maximiliano Falcon in the match against Club Necaxa. The committee determined, based on the Chapter A of the Leagues Cup tournament regulations, to rescind the red card for Maximiliano Falcon. Therefore, the player will be eligible to participate in the upcoming match, and the fair play table will be adjusted. So, Maxi Falcon will be available for tomorrow, which is huge. Because losing Maxi Falcon, obviously, he's one of our most consistent, a really good defender, a very passionate defender, and not having him for tomorrow would have been a problem, especially against the Mexican team. So I'm glad that we are able to have Maxi Falcon for tomorrow. And I think the real question is, and we talked about it with Messi and Co, who's his partner going to be? Is it going to be Tata? Is it going to be Toto Aviles? Is it going to be Noah Allen? Is it going to be Lujan? That is kind of the question here, because Noah Allen played last time out, played about 66, 70 minutes. Played fine. I thought he played great. But we're playing against teams we're playing against Mexican teams. No, I don't want to give or blame Noah Allen. In the last game against Necaxa, I think it was the first goal that we conceded. He lost his defender. Defender was faster. I think he was caught. Noah was caught flat-footed, and they were able to put a low cross in and equalize the game 1-1. I'm not saying that wouldn't happen to Aviles or Lujan. It definitely would have happened to Lujan. But do we see Noah Allen being benched for Aviles possibly more than Lujan? I would say yes. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll see what you guys are saying in the comments now. Mitch says, if we are going to beat Pumas comfortably, we are going to have to test their young keeper in the back line playing wide. We need to get up the field in advanced positions. Fafa would give us that. And that's a great... And shout out to Mitch. because Mitch, you're one of the few people. Well, I guess you're one of many people who goes to multiple streams. I've seen you at the Batter Heron streams and all that. So you've been an OG. You've been here for a long time. So shout out to Mitch, and shout out to the comment. Props to the comment because it's right. Because if you guys didn't know, Keylor Navas, ex PSG, ex Real Madrid, ahora ex Newell's Old Boys, goalkeeper, now plays for Pumas. But he got a red card in the last game. So Navas is going to be missing tomorrow's game against Inter Miami. That is huge. That is huge, huge, huge for our end. And that's bad for Pumas' defensive capabilities because obviously Keylor Navas is a fantastic goalkeeper, regardless of his age. He's a fantastic goalkeeper with amazing experience, years and years and years of playing at the top level, playing for Costa Rica, being the captain for Costa Rica for so many years. So it's what's it called? What was I gonna say? So really testing that 17-year-old goalkeeper because what's his name? Gian pointed out that they had a 17-year-old goalkeeper. So thank you for reminding me, Mitch, about their goalkeeper having their young keeper 17 years old. Pumas' goalkeeper is 17 years old. I don't know how much game time that 17-year-old had, but I can tell you right now, there's no way a 17-year-old is going to survive in a game in the last game of the Leagues Cup group stage match against Inter Miami with Suarez, with Rodrigo De Paul, with Jordi Alba, with Busi, with all these fantastic players at Inter Miami. There's no way a 17-year-old survives. I swear, I promise he's going to struggle, and we have to push him to his limits. We have to push him to his limits, contest, get into those advanced positions, get into those one-on-ones. Hopefully that he messes up and makes rookie errors so that we can capitalize on him. Ash says, Mascherano is such a creature of habit that he wears the same underwear and socks to every game. I can agree with you on that one, that Mascherano is a creature of habit. He doesn't like to change the system essentially at all. He likes to keep it the same. He likes to keep it consistent because he thinks like the familiarity and just, the consistency, I guess, for lack of another word, it's would be good for the team. It would help the team grow and build and help them adapt or just get accustomed to their play style. Mitch says, I just see a tired player and Ashende. It's mental with him. He's obviously has the physical tools. Obviously, and I pointed it out earlier, it's all mental for Ashende. But he needs that mental reset. He needs a reset. I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow, but I can tell you right now that I think in order for him to get out of this funk, he needs a mental reset. Whether that's being benched for a game, being benched for a half, something needs to click. Maybe he's got to watch more footage, like game footage. I don't know. Whatever the case may be. Maybe he has to go to the spa, get a massage. I have no idea. But something needs to change with the mental aspect of Tadeo Ashende. And I want to actually give a shout out to Scotty and Soar for the Dry Pick Dialogue, because I was watching a little bit. I couldn't watch the whole thing, but I was watching a little bit of their video. Go check them out if you haven't already, about the game. And he pointed out, I think it was Scotty that pointed out the fact that Tata emphasized more, Tata Martino, the ex-coach of Inter Miami, pointed out and emphasized more on game footage, on reviewing game footage after games, and focused a lot on the mental side of the game for our players. Unlike Mascherano, who supposedly, this is what they said, so I'm just kind of I'm just repeating here, that Mascherano focuses more on just training and game time and not really putting a lot of focus into footage and reviewing games through sitting in the room and just watching the game over. So I thought that was a valid point that was brought up by both of them, and I think that maybe that is something that the younger players have to do. And the reason why they make that switch is because apparently the more experienced players, they were like, we don't need to watch game footage. Like, we know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know what to do, or like we know what the mistakes were, or whatever. Like, they probably they don't struggle mentally when it comes to confidence, when it comes to knowing what the mistakes were, or knowing what to do in the next game, etc., or adaptability even, compared to the younger ones who maybe they do need to see it, from the actual footage of the TV, from the wider angle, from an outside angle, like a bird's eye view. So, so it is, maybe that's just a thought, a theory, something to think about, not just for Ashinde, but maybe for the younger players that we have, on our team. Ash says we have to be willing to shoot and not make 20 passes before. I mean, Mascherano is also a player. Mascherano is also a coach that likes to, I would hope, and hopefully we kind of play like this tomorrow. But we're gonna really lack in transition. We're gonna lack in transition because I can tell you right now that Pumas are a fast team. Pumas are a fast team. This is from what Gian has said. They're a fast team. They're gonna look to play for the counterattacks, and we might struggle. We might struggle. We might lose that midfield battle, especially if we have like players like Busi and Redondo in the midfield. Not saying that Busi is a bad player. Not saying Redondo is a bad player, but we're not the best when it comes to defensive transitions. We've gotten better from previous times, but when we get hit with that counter, we just don't have that agility, that speed, that acceleration to kind of keep up with it. Sometimes we'll get beat, especially if we push too high up. So I don't know. But at the same time, if we play too low of a block and try to absorb pressure, it also ends up fumbling. We also end up fumbling because we end up making a lot of mistakes, a lot of amateur mistakes. So I don't know. It kind of depends. We'll see how it turns out tomorrow. And so I always said it, and I said it last time out too. I think I said it in the post game reaction that we gotta play the mid block, because I think we tried playing the low block in the last game, and then they ended up scoring 2-1. And I'm like, why are we playing the mid, or why are we playing a low block? Why are we trying to absorb pressure? Like, we're not going to be able to do it. Like, we're just not going to be able to do it as a team. We let the ball take a couple of dumb bounces, and then it ends up being in the back of the net. Like, it's stupid. Like, we shouldn't play that low block. So I pointed out the mid block. I mean, Ash right now in the comments is saying, if Pumas is a fast team, then play the mid block. There you go. So, yeah. And it's like I said, and I said it before, but I'll mention it really quickly. With Messi now being injured, it's going to be extra difficult. Well, I don't want to say difficult, but the team has to once again adapt to life without Messi. So this has to be a no Messi, no problem situation, and then we really have to see what the ball can do at that 10 role. We have to see what the midfield is going to shape up. But let me go back to Mike V's comment on what he thought the lineup was going to be. And I want to hear your guys' lineup predictions. So Mike V says the lineup is going to be King Rocco in goal, with the back four being Jordi Alba, Noah Allen, Falcon, and Cello. The midfield being Busi, De Paul, Segovia, and Bright. And then Ashende and Suarez up top. I'm assuming he'll put De Paul and Segovia on the wings, with Busi and Bright as the double pivot. Ashende and Suarez up top. I don't think that's a bad lineup. I love for Noah Allen to start. I just don't know if he will. I genuinely think even since before his injury, I thought he's been the best and the most consistent defender on this team, and I loved him. So, I wouldn't be upset if Noah Allen doesn't start tomorrow. I would like to see him get some playing time though. Do we see Bright playing tomorrow, or even not even playing, but starting tomorrow? Do we see Bright starting tomorrow? Coming back from injury, he did get a couple of minutes off the bench. He's been getting a couple of minutes, for the last couple of games. Do we see Bright starting? I don't know. It's a very tricky situation. I think when Bright came off the bench, I thought he was solid. I thought he made a couple of tackles. He made some interceptions. His passing was good. I think his passing was it wasn't that many passes, but every time he did make a pass, he completed it. So, I personally don't see Bright starting. I see Redondo and Busi being the two center mids, or the double pivot. that's just because of I think Redondo has always been Mascherano's number one. And even when Bright was playing better consistently for even from months and months and months ago. So that's my personal opinion. I don't know what you guys think about it. Real Deal says no Messi, no problem. Nick Smith says no, it'll be Redombo or Benja in mid. Really, you think Benja's gonna get a start? I think it's interesting. I don't think he'll get a start. I think he'll probably come off the bench at some point, especially if we're trying to look for a goal. Benja coming off the bench looking for a goal, I think could be a good shout, depending on how the team is playing. But I don't know. Pepto Bismol Guardiola says no because no faith in Mascherano. That I guess that's for Bright starting. The key says Mitch might end up being in what the midfield looks like. Benja, Redondo, or Bright. Playing a mid block screams Bright for his transition play and ball recovery. You would think, Mitch. You would think. But Mascherano will prove you otherwise. And this is me, and this is us talking about the most ideal situation for us to play tomorrow. Playing the mid block, playing Bright. Will it happen? Probably not. I could probably not. But I think that is what should happen. What is what we should expect to happen. I personally believe that the back four is going to be Rocco is going to be in net. The back four is going to be Jordi, Toto, Aviles with Maxi Falcon and Chelo Wengant. I think the midfield is going to be Velasco Segovia, Busi, Redondo, and De Paul. Oh, perdón. Segovia, espera. Let me start again. The midfield is going to be Segovia on the left, Busi, Redondo, Tadeo Allende is going to be on the right. And then up top is going to be Suarez and De Paul. And then De Paul is going to be a roaming 10, roaming playmaker. Suarez is going to keep doing what Suarez does. It says they're going to try to play the same, but as if De Paul was Messi. They're going to try to play the same. That's my prediction. That's my personal thing. Monkey Man is saying he thinks it's going to be Rocco, a defense with Alba, Falcon, Noah Allen, Chelo, mid being Segovia, Busi, De Paul, Allende, and attacks Fafa and Suarez. And then Frey and Baltasar are back. Supposedly, yeah, but, will they play? We don't know. Baltasar is literally Baltasar el Fantasma Rodriguez. Will he play? I don't know. And if he does play, is he going to do anything? That's even more of a mystery. But I think it's interesting. I think like we said, it's going to be very key. The midfield is always going to be very key. The thing is that if Suarez, okay, this is what I'm trying to think of, right? So if Suarez keeps playing the way that he plays, right? We all know everybody criticizes Suarez because he hasn't been scoring, which fair. But the role that he's been given is dropping deep, try to put passes in behind, try to make short passing plays, assists, creating goals, etc. Yes, he makes a lot of dumb decisions. Like, I think last time out, he made a fucking halfway shot. Like, he literally, shot from the halfway mark. There was, a time where he just fell on his ass at one point. I'm like, really? Anyway. But if Suarez is doing that, normally you have Messi next to him. Or Telasco, I guess, sometimes, to score the goals. But mainly Messi. But now that we don't have Messi, and now we have Rodrigo De Paul, we still have Telasco Segovia, and now we have Allende. Who's going to be the one that's going to be, who are we going to rely on to score the goals? Because it's obviously not going to be Suarez. Right? We can't rely on Suarez to score goals because he hasn't scored a goal in almost 10 games. And if he does score, then that's fantastic. But, we can't, rely on Luis Suarez, which is crazy to say out loud, that we can't rely on Suarez to score a goal. So, do we rely on Tadeo Allende, a player that's been in bad form, who's been subpar technically, who mentally is struggling? Do we rely on Velasco Segovia, who I think scored 4 bang? I feel like every time he scores a goal, he scores an absolute banger from outside the box. do we rely on, I don't know, on a player like Fafa, on a player like Baltasar? I have no idea. I just don't. I think it's too. There's not. I don't want to say a safe option, but there's no real go to, if that makes sense. There's no real go to player when it comes to being clinical in front of net. So it's kind of where the problem is, because Obando's not gonna get a minute. I can tell you that right now. But Obando's not getting a single minute. I could tell you right now that Fafa's probably not even gonna get a minute. So in the chat they're saying, what would be your starting 11 if everybody was available? Probably the same that we would do normally. I would probably put Rocco Giudialba, Noah Allen, Falcon, either Ian Frey or Cello. I don't know, because Cello has been doing really well, and we haven't seen a lot of Ian Frey recently. I would probably put Baltasar. Mm. No, I think Velasco, Busi, Rodri, with maybe Baltasar on the right, with Messi and Suarez up top. Maybe. So more anxiety inducing playing out of the back. Just think RDP would be more effective in the middle of the pitch. His defensive ability is so good. Why not have Segovia play in that 10 role? Well, like I said before, Segovia has played in that kind of 10. I don't want to say a 10, but Segovia has played in that role where he does roam a little bit. So he'll roam a little bit, and he'll kind of be that. I don't want to say creator, because I feel like it doesn't go to that extent. I don't know. I think regardless, regardless with De Paul, like if we play with De Paul and Suarez up top, like De Paul as like a cam or even a second striker, De Paul will drop back and we'll probably play a 5 midfield. Like we'll probably play Rodrigo De Paul, like Rodrigo De Paul, Busi with Redondo, and them three with the wingers or the wide midfielders, and kind of drop that defensive shape. I don't think that would be a bad idea at all. And I see that as a real possibility. Pepto Bismol Guardiola says, bro, if we don't get a striker and a winger, we are so cooked for MLS Cup. Ugh, yeah, I mean, I would love to get a. I just want a goal scorer that isn't Messi, I guess. I don't know. How many wingers are we gonna get, dude? Like we brought in Fafa, we brought in freaking Baltasar, and like none of these guys play. Just copy and paste Scaloni's formation from the last eliminatoria LMAO, says Mitch. I think Almada played in that Messi role 4-4-2. Yeah, but that's Thiago Almada, who now plays for Atletico Madrid. Thiago Almada's a baller, dude, and I can't expect Velasco Segovia to be a Thiago Almada. Well, he probably can, but I don't expect him to be as good as Thiago Almada. Just got here, says Sean, but 3-5-2. Okay. Muggy Man says, I think we do win 3-2, to be honest, or maybe 3-1. David Alphonse says, if Baltasar plays, he will be out injured for the next 6 weeks. It's been a trend so far. Absolutely. That's why I call him El Fantasma. Baltasar El Fantasma Rodriguez, because every time we see him, he just disappears. Or we can call him freaking Houdini too. All right, guys, let's do score predictions, because Monkey Man has threw it in the chat. So Monkey Man thinks that we're gonna win, and we're gonna win 3-2. I'll put a poll as well. So if you guys don't have wait, can I put a poll? Is that possible? I think so. I should be able to. Yeah, but let me know in the chat what you guys think. Let me see. Yeah, start a poll. Does Inter Miami CF win tomorrow? Yes or no? Let's start this poll. Let's see how you guys vote. Vote in the poll and tell me your score predictions in the chat, so I know what how you think the game is gonna end. But let me know in the chat right now. Okay, let's see. Let's see. First one's coming in. Okay, the first one coming in. Well, we already talked about Monkey Man. Sean says 3-3. Both teams want and need a win. That is crazy. A 3-3 is pretty crazy. Guys, we need to win, by the way. We need to win this game. We can't afford to tie this 3-3. We can't afford to go into penalties. It's way, way, way too risky, and we're probably gonna get knocked out if we go to penalty. If we go to if we tie the game and then we win on pens, because I'll show you guys the table. Because I think mathematically, I believe it's still possible, but like, it's not ideal. Ideally, it's not the best thing. Like, it's not ideal. It's really, really, really not ideal. Let me see. Let me show you guys this. Yeah. So this is what the table looks like now. I'm gonna hide the chat just for a second, so you guys can just see what's going on. But so right now we're in 4th place. Right now we're in 4th place. Oh, hold on. Oh shit, what'd I do? Right now we're in 4th place with 5 points. Oh shit, wait, you guys can fucking see it. There we go. We're in 4th place with 5 points. If we tie and get the 2 points, we'll go to 7 points. Let's say Seattle wins, Portland wins, Minnesota. Like, if Minnesota win, get 3 points, they got 7 points, and they'll pass us, and we're out. Same thing with LA Galaxy. Same thing with literally everybody else. Like LA Galaxy, Orlando, Cincinnati, Red Bulls. If they all win, we're gone. And if we tie, we'll get 6 points. But that means we need to, or like, let's say we tie and then we lose on pens. We'll get 6 points. But that means we literally have to rely on everybody losing. Or like the majority of these teams losing, which is like not ideal. You don't want to be in that kind of situation. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. So that's the wrong chat box. My bad. Okay, let's see what you guys are also saying. Okay, Nick Smith says 3-2 for Inter Miami. Also, we should play Suarez as much as I hate him. In the false nine, he played once with Fafa and Ashende. Baltasar Rodriguez equals Robbie Robinson. Sean says no draw. I prefer not a draw. What's up, base Lionel? Gustavo says 4-1 for Inter Miami. If all Mexican refs again, no. Okay. Leandro says now we're really missing Leo Campana and Robert Taylor. But without them, we wouldn't have Rodrigo de Paul, right? You know, if we didn't get rid of them. If we win in pens, we need 6 teams to lose. Not gonna happen, says Nick Smith. Pumas also on 5 points. It's win or go home. End of story. Pepto Bismol says Messi's never gonna be grouped. If Miami loses, Mascherano should only get the mate. Should only get the mate after it passes through 13 months. I have no idea what the hell that meant. I'm not gonna lie to you. But okay, the vote is now complete. The most of you guys said Inter Miami. 16 votes. The majority of you said, I think it was 88% of you said that Inter Miami is going to win. Fair. I personally believe that Inter Miami is going to win 3-1. I think that's going to be my prediction. I think Rodrigo de Paul is going to get another assist after getting 2 assists last time out against Necaxa. I think I really want Suarez to score. I really, really, really want Suarez to score. Don't know if it's going to happen. I'm hoping for maybe we could see another Telasco Segovia banger like we did last time out. But I definitely think we should be solid defensively. I think we should be solid offensively, especially if they have that 17-year-old goalkeeper. Maybe I'm overestimating it a little bit. But I want us to be good. I want us to be really, 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 really good. So hopefully we can have a good game tomorrow. Hopefully that the players and the players are in the right mindset. They have that that fighting mentality, because guys, win or go home. We cannot afford to tie the game and let other circumstances determine our future. We need to take it, for lack of a better phrase, we need to grab it by the balls, and we got to take it ourselves. We need to control our destiny. If we win, we are through. And point blank, period. It's easy as that. So let's hope for the win tomorrow. Let's hope for some golazos. Hopefully nobody gets injured. And let's just hope for the best. And I think we want to strive for being the best in this competition. We want to strive for winning this competition. And remember, if we do win this competition, if we win Leagues Cup, we get automatic spot in the CONCACAF Champions Cup next year. So it's very, very important that we try to win this tournament. Gustavo says 2 goals for Suarez, a goal from Segovia, 1 from Machende. Will you be at the game? No, I was thinking about going to the game. I decided not to. I already have season tickets, so I'm like, I didn't want to spend more money just to go to the game. I also, the story with me and Leagues Cup was back months and months and months ago when they were not offering, but when they were telling us, the season ticket members, that, hey, you guys have first dibs on buying the Leagues Cup tickets for the group stage. I'm like, why do I have to pay for them? I'm like, we should, like, the group stage matches should be included in our package, in my opinion. I think the group stage matches, the 3 group stage matches, should have been included in our package. And then if we went further than that, then we could have paid for it. I wouldn't mind that at all. But I opted out of it out of protest. So, but no, I'm not, to answer the question, I'm not going to be going tomorrow. I'm going to be watching it from home after work, probably eating a pizza, and hoping for the best, and screaming my lungs out, hoping for Inter Miami to win. But thank you guys so much for watching this live stream here on the SoFlo Soccer channel. My name is Matt. As always, thank you guys for your support. We're almost at 4,000 subscribers, so make sure to hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel. Hit the thumbs up if you have enjoyed this kind of content. Make sure you turn on that notification bell so you don't miss these kinds of live streams or any other video that I upload. We upload this kind of content all the time, so if this is something that you are into, highly recommend you stick around, become a subscriber. Thank you for all of those who have become members of the channel as well. There's a couple of members. I believe there's 5 members. So, and you guys are amazing for that extra support. It really, really, really helps me out more than you could believe. It helps fund some of the things that I use to make these live streams happen. And it's amazing. So I appreciate your guys' extra support. I appreciate everybody's in the chats tonight. We got Monkey Man, Sean, Pepto Bismol, Nick. We had Mike V. We had Mitch. We had, who else? We had Leandro. We had, who else? Gustavo. Real Deal. You guys are amazing. Hold on, did I miss anybody? We had, I said Monkey Man. I said Mike V. We had Tony in here. We had Dr. T. We had Dan. Ash. Yeah, you guys are amazing, guys. You guys are absolute Ace Leonette. I think I said your name already. Circus Fun. All of you guys are amazing. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the post-game reaction. Make sure you don't miss it. It'll be, I guess, games at 7:30, maybe around 9:30, 9:45 is when I'll do the post-game reaction. I'll see you guys then. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's hope for the win. Vamos Miami. Ciao, guys. Ciao, muchachos.
¿Qué mira, bobo? Anda para allá, bobo.